Hello and welcome. If you are a practicing astrologer, you must have been asked this question, especially by those who are new to the field of astrology. Should we invest more time and money in astrology? You can see our future in this. How can we earn money from it and make it our profession? So, obviously, this question is mostly asked by those for whom astrology is bread and butter. It will not be asked by those for whom astrology is heart and soul. You must have noticed that many people are naturally attracted towards this line. Astrology and other practices attract those seeking money, or driven by passion. Many enter astrology to heal, driven by empathy and compassion, using knowledge to help and guide. Researchers see astrology as a continuous learning journey, not a short course. Astrology attracts healers who empathize and want to help others. Researchers also delve into astrology, a never ending study. The best astrologers are passionate and unafraid of the search. Earning from it is fine. They aim to use their knowledge. Researchers are another category. Astrology is ongoing, you never finish learning. The best astrologer is passionate and dedicated. We will explore why people enter this field and if it can be a profession. There are many combinations and permutations in astrology. The best astrologer is passionate and unafraid of the search. We will explore these combinations and mindsets, why people enter this field, and if it can be their profession. Many are naturally inclined towards astrology, healing, or have spiritual abilities. They may not need extensive knowledge, but possess strong intuition guiding their instinct. Let's see why people enter this field and if it can be their career. Many have natural talents like astrologers or healers with spiritual gifts. Let's get started. As I defined the categories earlier, many people are inclined towards this. They are natural astrologers, healers, or they possess some kind of spiritual ability. It's not necessary for them to have extensive knowledge in this field or to know the technical aspects of it, but some have a very strong intuitive power. They might have been born with certain combinations from their previous lives, and they worked so hard in this line in their past life that their instincts, their gut feeling, tell them what is going to happen. Ketu and watery planets help. Good-looking, presentable people are needed. Good speakers gain fame. Astrology guides, not just empowers. People want to listen to those who speak well, regardless of whether they are knowledgeable or not, because their presentation is good. That's why they gain fame in this line or any other line. So, we will differentiate everything and find out. Using the sources of astrology, one more thing is that this science is so divine that you don't choose it just to gain powers, to achieve something, or to learn it to the next level. It's about guiding someone. Remember this, you don't choose this. It chooses you based on your hard work and dedication, and that's how you are blessed. In this line, now, can I become an astrologer or can I practice in this field tomorrow? Fog, astrology part 4, get everything done where we put our mind to it. This is mental work that requires analytical power and a clear mind. Understanding the perspective of another person without being judgmental. You must have seen many stolzers, they become very judgmental after seeing the chart. They pass comments or talk about throwing away the chart, saying that the chart is not even worth seeing. It is not like this. It is not like that. You cannot insult any chart. There will be something good in every chart. If you don't understand this, if you can't grasp the other person's perspective that they were born with a certain set of combinations and their karma, then I don't think you are capable of being an astrologer. If you are not aware of your surroundings and what's happening in the world around you, earlier the career options or combinations were very limited, but now there are many more combinations. So how do we fit those combinations into our astrological principles? But now there are a lot more combinations. So how do we fit those combinations into our astrological principles? Earlier marriages didn't happen as frequently or didn't break as much. Why is it happening now? Now, what are the combinations that matter, which involve research, where people are seeing that marriage is a career? Understanding all of this requires understanding human nature and the surroundings. Now, what are the combinations that matter, which involve research, where people are seeing that marriage is a career? Understanding all this, understanding human nature, understanding the surroundings. All these things are very important, and continuous efforts have to be put in astrology. No course will make you a master in 23 years. We need planets Mercury, Jupiter, Venus. If they form a center or triangle, it's Saraswati Yoga. In mind games, all three are needed, and science helps understand signs like Gemini, Virgo, Libra. We start by identifying which planet aids which capability. Classical books highlight Jupiter and Mercury's importance. So, in any mind game, in any mental work, you need all three of these. And human science contributes to that. It helps us understand the signs like Gemini, Virgo, Libra, and others. The first thing we start with is identifying which planet will contribute to which capability. When I was preparing the topic, I found in classical books that both Jupiter and Mercury are given a lot of importance. All the verses revolve around these two. When I was preparing the topic, I found that both Jupiter and Mercury are given a lot of importance in the classical books regarding combinations. All the verses revolve around these two. When we say that an astrologer should have strong analytical abilities, it is Mercury that provides us with that. Mercury gives us learning capabilities. All the verses revolve around these two. When we say that an astrologer should have strong analytical abilities, who provides that? It's Mercury. That gives us that. Mercury provides learning capabilities. Learning something in astrology requires a lot of math, and that comes from Mercury. Mathematical power, analytical ability, and giving the right answer at the right time. For example, when you are asked a question after looking at a chart, random questions will be asked, and you need to be prepared for that. You have to quickly apply multiple principles to give the right answer at the right time. The skill of providing the right answer at the right time comes from Mercury. Now, Jupiter is about how much of the knowledge we have acquired through Mercury we can retain. You see, in one class, all the children's Jupiter will be in the same sign, and it will be approximately equally strong or weak. The signs may be the same for all the children, but their capabilities, their caliber, can be very different. That's where Mercury comes in, because Mercury is the planet that helps us learn. After learning, we convert that knowledge into wisdom, we apply it, and we help with the application. We convert our information into knowledge with the help of Jupiter, The work of astrology is guidance and consultation, in which no one can beat Jupiter. Then there's Venus. As I always say, Venus is number one when it comes to creating strategies. He is the only healer. So, where you need to provide solutions, that's where Venus comes into play. Those who have Venus or Jupiter in the sixth house are very good healers. Jupiter and Venus aid. Jupiter. He will definitely give you remedies and will suggest some tricks, telling you that if you're facing this problem, you can do this or that. Those Jupiter astrologers often invoke the name of God or leave things to divine will. They tend to do this more often. Now, Mars represents our logical thinking ability. When multiple principles are coming together, how do we break down these principles and then apply them? In this, Mars helps us, which is why it is called the planet of logic. Now, we will leave all the planets behind. Ketu says, you all play your game. I will play last because I am the king here. When we talk about intuition and gut feeling, that's where Ketu comes in, along with watery signs. Even the 12th house helps in intuitive power. Ketu is the planet that helps in understanding the algorithms of the chart's patterns, where your logic, your wisdom, and understanding will all fail. That's where you need to connect the dots. How to understand the entire chart in a complete way? No one knows better than Ketu. If their Ketu is connected with the ascendant, the sun, the moon, or the 10th house, then that's the biggest clue that you can perform very well in services tomorrow. We referred to Mercury for its analytical power. But remember that the sun tells us about our soul purpose. They indicate how much divine blessing we have to get into this line. Just like astrology is referred to as the eye, the Vedas are indeed for direction or guidance, and that is definitely Jupiter. But this cannot happen without the sun. Only the sun is responsible for removing obstacles. I'm talking about this divine sign, and it reminds me of a combination where, according to this combination, if Rahu or Ketu is related to the ascendant and the ninth lord is also involved, so it also works like a divine blessing in this line, which is a clear indication that you are meant for this field. Now, this stream requires continuous efforts, dedication, and commitment. Reading and sticking to it for long periods of time. And Satan see, well, no planet can do that. They say the moon's position marks where Dasha begins. The moon reflects past life. If with Ketu in the 8th house or Aquarius, Scorpio, it shows the mind's desires. We discussed Ketu, remember Rahu. If the moon is in combination with Ketu in the 8th house, or in signs like Aquarius or Scorpio, it naturally shows what the mind exactly wants to do. Since we talked about Ketu, how can we forget about Rahu? Rahu is the part of Ketu without which Ketu is incomplete. Logic, or any mistake in science, is a hidden bold rule that governs it. Rahu, Ketu, and Saturn give you 3 dark energies that help you in the 10th house. If we talk about science, Scorpio and Chris are referred to as karmic science. In this mystic world, these two are the kings. When we talk about practicing any art. Now, which houses should we look at? Which houses should we consider? First of all, the first house represents the self and identity, indicating what you want to do. Even otherwise, if we are judging someone's profession, we should never overlook the first house. If someone has Jupiter in their ascendant, they are naturally drawn to guiding and counseling. If the first house connects to the 8th, you are drawn to secret, occult practices. The 8th house deals with. Now, if the first house is connected to the 8th house, then naturally you are being drawn towards secrets, occult practices. But you need to remember that the 8th house deals with surgery, taxation, defamation, insult, emotional pain, and transformation. So when you go there, you need to consider how strong or weak the ascendant lord is. For example, if we talk about Sagittarius rising, Jupiter is exalted in the 8th house. If the ascendant lord goes into the 6th or 12th house and beats that pot, if the ascendant lord is strong in these houses, then it comes out victorious. But if it goes there and becomes weak, the mind becomes weak, it becomes weak. If the ascendant lord goes into the 6th or 12th house and beats that pot, if the ascendant lord is strong in these houses, then you come out victorious. But if it goes there and becomes weak, the mind becomes weak. So you are trying for that, but it's getting there. You need to enhance the combination and see how strong and good that combination is. It's very important to observe that if the ascendant or the ascendant lord is connected to Ketu, Saturn, or these planets. Again, very esoteric you are, too mystic. Then comes the second house. The second house is related to our speech. Any healer, astrologer, tarot reader, or numerologist does what? They guide you with their words. They indicate that in the future, there could be certain probabilities. He tells you and guides you with his words. This indicates that there could be probabilities in the future. Among all the combinations that have been described as good, it is said that if Jupiter is sitting in the second house, you have the power of speech. Mostly, such people are advised to speak positively because what they say tends to come true. So always say positive things, motivate the people around you, and don't speak ill of them. When you see negative combinations, you should know how to navigate, but also how to present things in the right way where the other person isn't hurt too much and the message can be conveyed. When Jupiter is in the second house, it also aspects the 6th and 10th houses. The 8th house is also a very important house in astrology, and the 6th house is related to healing, while the 10th house is about profession, where you are naturally talking about guidance. Similarly, if it is placed in the 6th and 10th houses, That is also a very good combination for being a healer, a doctor, and establishing your foothold in this line. Fourth house. The fourth house is related to our formal learning. What formula have we learned? If the fourth house is connected to the eighth or ninth, or if the eighth and ninth are connected to the fourth, then what you are learning could be related to your formal education in the occult or advice regarding it, which is guided by the fifth house. Where is our intellect working? So if the fifth house connects with the 10th or 11th house, you can make money out of it. For example, if the lord of the fifth is Mars and it is sitting in the eighth house while looking at the 11th house and the second house. So it's a house from where you are applying your intellect to earn money and also to save money. You can make money out of it. For example, if the lord of the fifth is Mars and it is sitting in the eighth house while looking at the 11th house and the second house. So it's a house from where you are applying your intellect to earn money and also to save money. Now, if these positive combinations are formed, so it's a house from where you are applying your intellect to earn money and also to save money. Now, if these positive combinations are formed, here mostly the rule of friendship and camaraderie applies. And if you follow it, well, you can earn a lot of money. If Saturn is sitting in this house and expecting the 10th house, again, you're using your mind in the house to make your profession. In fact, it's a kind of utilization of energy as well. Even people who are not involved in astrology or do not practice it are advised to learn it. So utilize this combination in a very good way. The house itself indicates that I have all the secrets. As I mentioned, if the ascendant has the moon or Mercury along with it, moon or Mercury, because we are talking about the fourth house, we are discussing the mind, and the moon is the significator of that. When we talk about intellect, Mercury is the significator there. If there is a connection between the fourth or fifth house, along with a connection to the moon or Mercury, then the house lord is also significant. It also shows our natural inclination in this direction. So the points I shared earlier about natural information and making money out of research work should be connected in this way. Now, in research, the main nakshatras, Saturn and Ketu, will help us a lot. If planets like Venus or Mercury are coming into the Taurus sign, then it shows more information regarding money making, guidance, and wisdom from the non-house perspective. The basic job of any healer is to guide you in one problem, in bad times, in good times. It's about what you should do and how you can do it. The 10th house represents our profession or public image. If this slot is connected to the 10th house, or if Ketu, Saturn, and Mercury, which are important planets, are involved. If their connection is with the 10th house, it shows directly your work could be related to this. The 11th house represents our gains and networking. Now, the 11th house is also significant because it is a C4, which means it represents formal training in learning this knowledge. That's why the 11th house is very important for top money making. Also, if there are good combinations like Venus and Mercury in earth element signs here, then you can make money in abundance. So, which are our important houses? The second house and the sixth house, 8,000 and 10,000. Now let's talk about the nakshatras. In this, we will also differentiate which attention will be directed towards whom. When it comes to healing, Ashwini, Dhanishta, and Hasta are natural healers. It is said that Hasta has golden hands. If they touch a sick person or meet someone they talk to who is in pain, professions like natural healing, physiotherapy, and therapy suit Hasta very well. When we talk about teaching and guidance, Purva Falguni, Uttara Falguni, Uttara Shada, and Uttara Bhadrapada are all very good in teaching and guiding. Especially for Uttara Bhadrapada, it is said that they have very good knowledge of the Vedas, and the Shatabisha Nakshatra is very good in research work, long teaching and guiding. When we talk about research, the Nakshatras Mula, Punarvasu, Magha, and Dhanishta contribute to it. Those clients who are naturally inclined towards these practices are Anuradha, Bharani, and Adra, Purva Bhadrapada, Revati, Shatabisha, and Shalesha. Now let's talk about combinations. What are the combinations that can directly lead to success in this field? First of all, if Mercury is associated with Venus in the second or third house, or if it's in the first, second, or third house, that's fine too, because Mercury represents what we are learning and how we are guiding, how we are providing solutions, happens through communication. Mercury in the second house with Jupiter indicates scholarly potential. As I mentioned earlier, Mercury and Jupiter are given a lot of importance, so I have noted down the rules derived from the main principles here. Now, if Mercury is associated with the second house, it still makes you a good scholar. Mercury's association is significant. When I talk about association, I mean placement, respect, conjunction, and through nakshatras. When I talk about association, I mean placement, respect, conjunction, and through nakshatras. The same is said for Jupiter, that if Jupiter is in the second, sixth, or especially the second or 10th house, don't give. This line is meant for you. After that, there is another principle which states that if the second lord is in the seventh, or if it is seated in the first house and is respected by Jupiter, that is also a great combination to be in this line. Now, let's understand these combinations through the chart. You might find this combination in a doctor, teacher, healer, surgeon, or even in those working in the tax department. So what's the difference? You just need to understand the pattern of the chart, and you need to understand how many more combinations are matching with yours. The houses to which we are giving so much importance to the planet, just like we gave the most importance to Jupiter and Mercury. It was said that Ketu rules here. We emphasized the 10th house. More constellation combinations make it easier to tell someone this line is for them. The ascendant lord, fourth lord of the mind, fourth lord of the Kalpurush chart, moon as fifth house significator, and sun as mine. This line is meant for you. Look at this chart. In this, we have the ascendant lord, not just the ascendant, the fourth lord, which represents my mind, the fourth lord of the Kalpurush chart, the moon as the significator of the fifth house, and the sun as mine. The soul is seated in the 11th house of Aquarius, and the constellations it has are Purva Bhadrapada, Shadashakona. In this combination, my second lord of speech for astrologers is along with the 7th lord of business and healing Venus. This Pipal and natural hills are also referred to as the constellations of doctors. And the good thing is that in this combination, my second lord of speech, which we were taking for astrologers, is along with the 7th lord of business and healing, Venus. The significator of healing is sitting right there. They also have the Shadashakona constellation. Even Purva Bhadrapada is naturally inclined. Yesterday, in the practices, on the top, Mars, which is our ascendant lord, is also the 8th lord. This is not an astrologer. This is a tarot reader. She practices crystal. In fact, there is also energy reading in the readings. She is a very good healer. And if we talk about the combinations, Jupiter is in the 6th house, in the Hasta constellation, and my 10th lord is also in the 6th house, and in the Hasta constellation. She also practices Reiki. Using your hands, vote for crystal and Reiki healing. Use your hands. So the healing person has Mercury in the 10th house, and Ketu is also in the 10th house. However, Reiki healing and crystal healing are their part-time professions. She works in this company, but this line is naturally inclined. If I have to judge their chart based on this, or why they came into astrology, basically, she has come to heal people. They really like that. In this, you can see how many factors are coming together. You have the human sign, the sign of Aquarius, and connections from the 4th and 5th houses to the 11th house. So, of course, making money is a major motive. The connection of Jupiter and Mercury is also seen from the 10th, 6th, and 2nd houses. So, all factors are matching in their chart, holding on for the 2nd and south end. Let's take another chart. We will start with the ascendant. The Sun and Venus are in the ascendant, which are my lord of the heart and 5th lord, and they are in the sign of Gemini. Well, I didn't understand that much. No worries. My ascendant lord has gone into the 2nd house, is in Cancer, in the Ashlesha constellation, and along with that, My 10th lord is also there, which is a direct combination of Jupiter and Mercury, associated with the 2nd, 10th, and 6th houses. All these combinations have matched because of Jupiter and Mercury. Then we move on to the moon. The moon is in the sign of Pisces, along with Ketu. Both of them are in the Purva Bhadrapada and Shatabisha constellations. If I had to choose from all the constellations, Anuradha, Purva Bhadrapada, and Shatabisha are three constellations that you will see in many astrologers and healers' charts. My A and 9 Lord, Saturn, is giving a 10th aspect to my 11th slot. Even my 11th slot is giving a 4th aspect to my A and 9 Lord, but which houses do they occupy? The 3rd and 12th? They get a lot of clients online, especially for the client told. The house is our playground. If I have to rate their chart, I would look at the Sun in the ascendant and Jupiter and Mercury in the 2nd house, and I would say they provide very good guidance and advice. Compared to the first chart, where I saw more healing power, you first need to understand the ascendant and the ascendant Lord, the connection of the mind and intellect, the connection of the 8th house, and the connection of the 10th house to money making. The simple thing is, the more combinations you find, the more you will find in D24 and D10. You can say that this line will suit you. And if someone has combinations but does not practice in this field, they are not in it. Then you should definitely tell them to do whatever they do, but definitely learn astrology. I have repeatedly mentioned astrology. I mean, all the people connected to this line, whether it's tarot, crystal, Reiki, healing, or numerology, in any way, we guide and help people find out hidden secrets, so we are all in this line. I hope you liked today's video and figured out that this line is for me. And yes, I will be here going forward. Thank you so much.